Hello there, it's Moira McDonald. Thanks for stopping by to have a wee look at what's going on today. I'm planning on making a wee video here about clusters. I know clusters are very much the I can't even say this, flavour of the month, or when it comes to junk journals, flavour of the day, because by tomorrow we'll all be doing something different. I watched a video the other day, and the lassie had some I think her video channel's called Care Heart, and she had submissions for some sort of still can't I say cluster sorry, that's eBay at its finest. Some sort of cluster ornament thing that's getting, you know, a wee kind of competition that was getting done, I think, on Jessica Rapp's Facebook site. And some of the folk that had submitted them had done such beautiful work that it occurred to me there really are in particular two different ways of really looking at clusters. Some clusters are literally things thrown together, and you know, they're nice for what they are, and they're useful, and I've done it myself in terms of throwing stuff together, but there are others that were clearly very well thought out, and everything coordinated and everything was neat, and they were absolutely beautiful, really beautiful. So I thought it would be interesting to tackle clusters myself from that point of view, you know, actually trying to make them neat as opposed to just a pile of stuff stuck together. So I have assembled, as you do, a number of wee bits and bobs. I'm currently doing a Scottish journal, so I've got some kind of like tartan type paper, my lace that I've still got from the other day, bit of what do you call it, seam binding that's coffee stained or tea stained, whichever well, I think it was coffee stained. I have an assortment of little floral styly die cuts, and an assortment of other tartan, it's tartan paper that's been printed out, and then I've die cut it into different wee shapes and whatever to go together with these clusters. I've got one wee bit of music page, sorry, it's a book page from a Scottish book, wee bit of music, another wee bit of music there. These are just wee bits and bobs I've got. I've got a bigger bit of tartan paper. Wee bits and bobs I've got in my desk. I've also got, I'd watched another video by Rhonda without an H. I think her name's Rhonda Winstead. I nearly called her Rhonda without an R, but that would be Rhonda. She did a good video on clusters the other day, and what she'd done is she'd used washi that she'd stuck to card and then just cut it. And so I've done some of that as well, because I thought, although these aren't Scottish, they're floral, they're attractive, so you know, they're not out of place, I don't feel. I did a wee bit of stamping. Now, not everything I've done is going to be in one cluster, if you know what I mean. It's to make an assortment of clusters for one journal, so I don't want them all looking the same. But I did some stamping. I used primarily Tim Holtz tickets, stamps and dies, and I used the ones that were kind of British, because they'd old money before we became decimalised. So although they're not Scottish as such, they're British, so they kind of blend into the mood of the moment. Also did a couple of wee bits of normal run-of-the-mill stamping just from another wee stamp set I've got, and cut them out fancy because I thought it would be just an interesting wee touch. Did that one because it was kind of Charles Rennie Mackintosh styly, and he's from Glasgow. Oh, and while I think of Charles Rennie Mackintosh, which reminds me of Perio, because we went to see the Charles Rennie Mackintosh exhibition when we were in Glasgow that day. my birthday was this week and I got a lovely, lovely card, a handmade card and a postcard from Perio, and I don't think I contacted you to thank you, Perio, so thank you very much for that. Caroline also sent me a present. I was ready for filleting her because I thought, see if she sent me Happy Mail, I'll chew her up when I get her. But it wasn't, well, it was Happy Mail, but it was, she sent me a magazine that had some free stamps in it, which was really interesting because I really liked the magazine and I really liked the stamps. But she also sent me some chocolates, which I absolutely loved, and then again a beautiful card with a bag charm on it, which is absolutely excellent because I've been wanting to change the bag charm I've got and wanted to change my bag. I haven't quite got around to it because there's many things I haven't quite got around to, but it's in my to-do list. So thank you very much, Caroline. Thank you, Perio. Thanks also to all the folk on Instagram that gave me good wishes as well. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much, because I'm not getting any younger, so you know. Right, so let's get into let's actually get started on doing something. I've got some little rectangles of card here. Now I got, as part of my birthday, I got a corner chomper crocodile, and I had about the usual luck when it came to trying to figure out how to work this, as you do when you have anything with the words "We Are Memory Keepers" on it. I have now figured out, I don't know if I'm very good at doing it, mind you, but I'll try. So it cuts fancy corners, and I particularly wanted, oh no, made a mess of that. I think it's because I put it in the wrong place. I particularly wanted this one because of the sort of corners it cuts. It does a wee kind of round in the way one, and I fancied that. So you really need to have the strength of Garth to work with our memory keeper stuff. So it makes things kind of like they've got the corners that you get on tickets, if you know what I mean, and I really quite like that. So I've cut that out, which again, because it's tartan, I'm going to use that. Don't know whether or not it's worthwhile doing it with that, because that's quite big, so I might cut that down a bit. I also got a new guillotine. It is another tonic guillotine, not the, what's his name one, not the Tim Holtz one. It's just tonic itself, and I haven't used it yet, but I have at least got it out the box and got the handle on it. I asked my husband to give me a hand with the handle, and he nearly broke it, as does any man that touches anything, it seems. A wee bit fell out. I laughingly refer to my husband as brute force Billy. His name is Billy, but it's brute force because nothing's ever tackled in a kind of logical sense where you read instructions before you try to do something. You just batter in and invariably break something. He got me an elliptical strider for my birthday. I did want it, not necessarily for my birthday. It's one of these things I would have bought myself ultimately, and I wasn't in any major rush to get it, but he insisted in getting me this elliptical strider for my birthday, and I can safely say I nearly killed myself on it yesterday because it really does use a lot of energy. I wasn't on it very long. I think that's going to take a wee while to build up to that one. Right, let's get ready to actually do something. So we'll start with a base, and I'll just use this wee bit of music paper, and I'll add stuff from here. Don't need to add absolutely everything to this, because I don't think, you know, my clusters don't need to be 4 foot thick. All I'm really interested in at this stage in the game is putting some stuff together that I think goes well together and blends in. So I'll stick that there. I know Jessica Rapp often uses staples. I really don't like staples for my junk journal. don't like the thought of the back of them, albeit that this is going to be stuck on a page. I just think to myself, you know, potentially somebody could be hurt using it. I've got a wee stamp, well, I call it a stamp. I've cut it with a little tiny die from another Tim Holtz set that looks like, what do you call them? It looks like a wee stamp, and I had a wee tiny bit of an actual rubber stamp with a butterfly on it, so I'll stick that there, and I'll get a wee bit of lace, I think, for this. Stick that across there. Sorry, I'm snipping away here. I've got the back door open, so it's absolutely freezing. But I've got to open the back door because if I don't, I'll get dogs just baying like the hounds they are at the back door. Yeah, I was going to put this little envelope there. What I will need to do with my little envelope is I'll need to make a wee letter to stick in it. Because you know I like the wee letters with little envelopes. Right, I could actually stick one of those wee things in it, just out the corner. No, I won't bother. I'll get a wee, at some point I'll make a wee letter for it. So there you go, that's going to be that first wee cluster. And I feel quite happy with that. It's quite neat and can't even say that. Right, we'll take a bit of this. I'm going to cut this down actually because it's quite big. It's a wee bit of a Scottish book. The printing in it is very small. It's clearly been a book that's been fairly well read, I think. Right, and add a wee bit of tartan paper. And although I've used dies to do this, I used dies because, again, when I was watching the video from the lassie Carehart, the folk that had submitted samples of their work had used dies, and they were, I mean, they really were very, very attractive. Because it just added an interesting feature to things. But it doesn't need to be dies necessarily. If you wanted, you could easily just cut shapes. I mean, you can use, I've stamped on this twice, because the first side when I was distressing it, I didn't make a very good job of it. But again, it's one of these things that, you know, you do it with whatever you've got. Even if you've got a batch of those tickets, you could easily distress them up and use them. Let me think. Need to flatten that down a wee bit. This is one of the, like I said, it was one of the bus tickets from the Tim Holtz tickets set that I stamped out on a white card and just used worn lipstick to distress it. And I only did it in the pink because when I was growing up, and we had these old bus tickets, you would, you know, they were very often kind of bizarre colours, the bus tickets. So I just made what I had, if you like. Now I feel I would have quite liked to put something on top of that, but it might be a bit much to put more tartan on it. So wait a minute, could I use one of those? Yes, I could. That's what I'll do. So it's washi that's been stuck down to card. I might need to go and have a wee look at what Timmy's marking it. Right, I think that'll do us for that one. It will be stuck in a page, so that'll obviously give it what it needs to firm it up, and I've got glue all over my table for some reason. Right, so we'll put that aside. Right, so we'll have a go with the next one. Let me see. Now I've got music paper, which is a bit bigger than the last one. I think I would quite like to use one of these. I'm trying to read this because it's got tiny writing in it, and I just can't. It's too small for me, I'm afraid, even with the glasses on. Right, so we shall the song, incidentally, the song music I'm using is Daisy. Honestly, see, as soon as she gets to that window, right, bear with me because I'm going to have to shut that door. 2 seconds. Right, back again. I went looking for Timmy there when I shouted Daisy down to cut her away from that window, and I thought, when is Timmy? But he's actually sitting at my back on the couch, just really quietly, so I never saw him. There's a wee tiny edge on this that I want to cut off, so bear with me, and I shall do that. Sorry, it's one of those precision things that, you know, you just can't control yourself, you've got to do it. We'll cut a wee bit of this lace and add it. Sorry, I'm sniffing again. Oh, Daisy, you find something to bark at all the time. She's enough a noisy dog. I'm not used to dogs being quite so noisy because I think most of mine have been reasonably okay and didn't get exceptionally agitated at the drop of a hat the way she does, but she's very, very noisy. Although I'm going for a neat finish with this, what I like to do is kind of offset things a wee bit, if you like, so that it's, you know, it's like a tiny collage almost. Now, when I'm doing this, the wording in this particular song is, well, it's just the middle line makes it obvious that it's a Scottish song because it's Love My Laddie Well. So I don't want to cover Laddie up. But I want to stick something else on, so, and I can hear Daisy running up and down the side growling, because that means there's birds in the garden next door. This is a wee stamp I bought recently when I was with Lisa, and it's like two wee guys fishing in a boat, and I happened to use a bit of another stamp at the bottom of this just to make it look like a postcard, because when I stamped that, it was on a wooden block and I stamped it too high up. So there was a big kind of pale bit at the bottom, and I thought, well, I need to fill that with something, so I used another stamp just at the bottom there to fill it up. Oh, wait a minute, I never really considered, I know I want to use this, but I never considered where I was putting it. I'll put it there, that's fine. It's always best to kind of give it a wee bit of thought, instead of just battering in. Still managed to do this without covering the laddie, so I'm quite pleased about that. Now I've got a lot of other tartan stuff, but I don't know if I use them, if I'm going to be covering what I've got. I've got a wee tiny tag there that I cut out. And again, I mean, it's not difficult to cut a tag shape if you don't have a die. You know, you just need to think about what you're doing and where you're positioning it. I think I'll just put that down the bottom. It's a different type of tartan from the other tartans that have been used in this. But again, all adds to the Scottish vibe. Right, there you go, that'll do for that one. Hopefully you see that okay. Put that aside and do another one here. Got a wee bit of writing from that Scottish book. And we'll add some, oh, I've got a wee banner that I can add. Again, it's really easy to cut a wee banner. So it's, you know, I might have used dies to do a lot of this, but it doesn't mean to say that you need to have dies. You work with what you've got. If you don't want to, I mean, if you're like me, you're forever, I'm just forever conscious of holes in my crafting arsenal and end up buying stuff that costs me more than I really want to spend, but there we go. But it's not necessary. You can easily just adapt things you've got. And I want to use, I'm going to use this bus ticket and stick it there, just to make things a wee bit different. Again, used another distress ink when I was colouring this, just done on white card on that side and coloured with, I think it was iced spruce I used. Now I did die cut a little key and a lock from tartan, so I'm going to use those. Actually, I don't want to use this for doing this one. Give me a second. Now I finished that dry clear glue the other day, and I had bought this in advance because that's the way I work. Nouveau Deluxe Adhesive Clear Drying Craft Glue. Not used it, don't know what it's going to be like, but it's one of these glues that clearly, Nouveau is from Tonic, by the way, and I've got a feeling that the company must have distributed a ton of it free of charge to card crafters, because everybody and his brother is using it. Let's see if we can, whoa, oh, that worked. Right, give me just a second because I was a wee bit strong with it there. Aye, so everybody in the card crafting world that's making videos is using this. It's got quite a nice wee fine point, as long as that lasts. But we'll see. I'm going to stick it on that, and that's actually the same tartan as the wee banner. Put a bit much glue on that one. Stick that down the bottom. Right, that does need something else, just don't know what. Whew, we'll cut a bit of lace. That could well be Timmy trying to goad Daisy into playing. I've also got a wee Scotty dog that I cut out. In fact, I'm going to use that there. Not sure about the Nouveau glue. But then again, see, you always worry that the one you get has maybe lain in the shop for a while, and that's why it's not spreading so well. Right, there you go. That'll do for that one. Right, so shall we have a look at what I'm going to... I've still got a lot of stuff here, and I will be using them, but I'm not necessarily going to film it all. So I'll show you what I've done, and I'll take stills to add at the end of this video, and you can see what you think. So these are clusters, but they're my take on trying to make them kind of neat clusters as opposed to just oops, that's upside down, just, you know, throwing them together the way we have been doing up until now. There, I don't think you can see them to their best at the angle we're at. Wait a minute, hold on, I'll hold them up to the camera, and I'll do a still at the end so that you can see them, and I'll apologise for the barking. That's Timmy at his best. It's my Scotty dog. So that's us. Some clusters. Clusters last stand. Neat clusters. Right, I'll put up my video. Thanks very much for everybody for watching. Oh look, I mean, Scotty dog, ouch. Thanks very much for watching, sticking with me and putting up with the dogs barking every time I make a video. I'll hopefully be back in the not too distant future, and I'll hopefully get into this journal properly next week. My husband's off on holiday, and it's just things have not been the norm. There's been a lot going on, obviously with my birthday and whatever, that's kind of disrupted my flow, and I've not been in the house as much to get a chance to actually get loose with crafting. But thanks for your time anyway, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye!